A second overnight curfew is in place in downtown Los Angeles as protests against the Trump administration's immigration enforcement continue. Police say they carried out mass arrests following the introduction of a partial curfew in downtown districts of LA overnight into Wednesday. President Donald Trump has sparked controversy by deploying troops to Los Angeles against the wishes of LA's mayor and California's governor. Now the US Defense Department says 700 US Marines could be on the streets of LA as soon as Thursday. Meanwhile, protests similar to those in Los Angeles are popping up in other major US cities, including New York and Washington, with more demonstrations planned in the coming days. In the last few hours, President Trump gave his reaction to the situation in Los Angeles.
What we have is a situation in Los Angeles that was caused by gross incompetence. They didn't have the police to handle it. The police were asking us to come in. They were very late. We had to go in to save a lot of ICE officers, as you know, who were held up. They were holed up in a building, and they were being attacked. And the military went in, the National Guard went in and got them. The police weren't able, unfortunately, to move fast enough, but we moved fast enough. And while we were there, we stayed there, and we stopped tremendous destruction and death.
Our correspondent Carl Nasman is following events in LA.
A second night of curfew here in downtown Los Angeles, and this is what it looks like. For the most part, empty streets. This is outside of the federal building here in downtown, where we've really seen a big time demonstration over the past couple of days, but tonight, very quiet, very few demonstrators. The mayor actually saying earlier that this curfew seems to be doing what it's designed to do, and that's to keep some of the agitators from causing damage and really ruining what have been, for the most part, peaceful demonstrations here in Los Angeles. Despite the relative calm right now, we actually are expecting in the coming hours several hundred active duty Marines to be deployed to Los Angeles. They've been sent by President Trump over the wishes to keep them out of local authorities. They'll be guarding those federal buildings here in the city. Even as these protests continue, we've also seen immigration raids continuing, and that's what kicked off the demonstrations in the first place. I was speaking with a local official in the community here saying that many members of the immigrant community are afraid of being swept up in those raids. There are also dozens of other protests now sparking up in places across the country, so no matter what's happening in Los Angeles, it seems that this movement is likely to continue.
Carl Nasman. As the authorities in Los Angeles continue to deal with this week's protests, the BBC has obtained footage of one of the raids that triggered the trouble. The video shows US Border Patrol agents arresting workers at a car wash and highlights a central issue for the protesters: the apparent shift in focus from immigrants with criminal records to a broader sweep of hard-working immigrant communities. From LA, here's our correspondent John Sudworth.
Caught on surveillance footage, two white vehicles pull into an LA parking lot. This is President Trump's immigration policy in action. As the US Border Patrol agents approach, the workers washing cars down tools and flee. 6 of them are detained. The raids across this city have triggered days of sometimes violent protest over a policy that now seems to be dramatically shifting direction.
Moving murderers out of our country that were put here by Biden.
Murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions and insane asylums.
Horrendous people, and we're getting them out one by one.
President Trump has long insisted that hardened criminals are the main focus.
You're just taking our people who's working really hard.
But now it's places like this. This detained worker has been with the business for 10 years.
What's your message to President Trump?
He has to stop this. We are here maybe because of the American dream, but this is, I don't think this is the American dream. Everybody has a dream. Everybody has to fulfill the life to get somewhere in the life, and this changed a lot of dreams and a lot of lives.
Yeah, but it's like one person there and like a bunch of you guys.
As armed police pick up immigrant workers outside hardware stores and soldiers stand guard on the streets of LA, there's now a bitter political row over the limits of presidential power. Far less visible, though, is the human cost.
My husband had no criminal background. He's never gotten a ticket before. We paid our taxes.
Naomi's husband was one of those arrested at the car wash. Jesus has been in America for 30 years. He's now thought to be in a detention centre 800 miles away in Texas.
My 10-year-old, I feel like he's still in shock. He still doesn't realize what's going on. And of course, my 5-year-old. He just keeps asking for his dad. You know, and I don't know what to tell him. Yeah.
There are an estimated 1.8 million undocumented workers in California. As the government begins to target them, two very different visions of America are now playing out on the streets of this city. John Sudworth, BBC News, Los Angeles.